Hello and welcome. So I hope, fam, that all of you have been having an incredible holiday season so far. Today, of course, we're here in the Chatty Scent Corner, and I have 10 different fragrances to share with you. Actually, they're not 10, they're more like 17 because a couple of fragrance houses have launched or are about to launch full-on collections with multiple fragrances. So today I'm going to be talking to you about all of these new fragrances that are being launched, and I am not going to get into my soapbox of how many more fragrances can they launch before the end of the year. But anyway, before we jump right in, if this is your first time here, I'm Arahi, and I'm your fragrance concierge because I'm totally committed to creating the best fragrance experience for you. I upload videos multiple times a week, and in this channel, we love to talk about all types of fragrances. So if that sounds like the type of content that you're interested in, and like a good plan, then please consider subscribing, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget, leave a comment. Let's go. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and start with an update on Xerjoff. So as you all know, Xerjoff is my favorite fragrance house, and every year they launch a fragrance by the name of Torino. And Torino started in 2021. So we have a Torino 21, a Torino 22, 23, and now we have a Torino 24. Now, Torino 24 was just launched and it's already available at a couple of retailers. I was able to get my hands on one, so I do have it on its way to me. So you can expect to see a review very soon. So this Torino is designed to evoke the memories that come with a friendly indoor tennis match. Because as you guys know, this fragrance is designed every year to celebrate the collaboration or the sponsorship of Xerjoff for the ATP finals, right? So all in the world of tennis. So, you know, Torino 21 and 22 were really, really good. And, you know, we were also happy with the fragrance, with the blend, with the performance. Torino 23, I did pick it up also, but it was a little bit iffy. There were some mixed reviews. Personally, I did enjoy it. Did I enjoy it more than 21 and 22? No. But I did enjoy it, but it definitely had some mixed reviews. So I am certainly looking forward to trying Torino 24 and seeing how I feel about it. But nonetheless, for us Xerjoff lovers and collectors, it's like a tradition. So expect to see it very soon on the channel. All right, guys, so the notes for Torino 24 are at the top: bergamot, mango, mandarin, and plum. Then in the mid notes, we have orange blossom, styrax, and pink lotus. And then at the base, we have white musk, patchouli, and moss. Now, you guys know how much I love a mango note in a fragrance, and I'm always trying to see what is going to be the next mango fragrance and how different or the same is it going to be to all the other mango fragrances that we have, right? So in this fragrance, what's really pulling me, honestly, is the mango and the orange blossom. And I'm very curious about the combination of mango and plum, because I don't think I've ever seen that before. But definitely the mango, the orange blossom, and to a certain extent, even the patchouli, because I think the patchouli is going to bring some edge, because the mango is probably going to be sweet, you know, and I'm just assuming the orange blossom, you know, brings that sweetness with it, but the patchouli can add a certain degree of woodiness and creaminess, right? So if done right. So I am really looking forward to trying this fragrance. So expect to see a review here on the channel. All right, guys. So the next update that I have for you is specific to Creed, guys. Okay, so yeah, you're probably thinking, okay, Arahi, for the last 3 weeks, you have given us an update on a Creed fragrance. Guys, I don't know. They're just launching fragrances left and right. But you know, with Creed right now, it's not so much about new launches as much as it is like relaunch, right? Like changing the bottle of certain fragrances that had been around for a while. But this one that I'm going to share with you today is a brand new fragrance, and it's called Fragaria. Now, Fragaria is supposed to be a strawberry centric fragrance. This fragrance is already available in the UK, and I believe, from what I read, that it is an exclusive to Selfridges. And when I tried to pick it up from the Selfridges site, it said that it would not ship international. So I guess we have to wait for it to be launched in the US. And my understanding is that that is not happening until the beginning of 2025. So we're just going to have to be really patient. But so Fragaria is definitely a strawberry centric fragrance, which I am totally here for it, because I don't think I have ever sniffed or have in my collection a Creed fragrance that has the note of strawberry, much less as the centric note. So I'm really looking forward to that. So the notes for Fragaria are: at the top, we have pink pepper, bergamot, and mandarin. In the mid, we have strawberry, as I mentioned before. And here we go. For my violet lovers, it's violet. I'm very curious. I'm going to tell you right now about that strawberry and violet. I'm pretty sure I haven't seen that before. That just sounds very interesting. But anyway, and then at the base, we have cedarwood and vetiver. So I am really looking forward to trying this fragrance, and I do plan to pick it up. So yeah, expect to see a review here on the channel. So the next fragrance that I want to share with you is a Middle Eastern fragrance. And this fragrance is part of the Assad line. And my favorite, right, is Assad Zanzibar, which was actually designed for men. So this one that I'm going to share with you today is called Assad Bourbon, and it's specifically designed for the gentleman. But I don't know, because, I did pick up Assad Zanzibar, but that's because I was preparing like a video for the gents. And then I ended up discovering that the fragrance was perfection. It was unisex, and to me, leaning to the feminine side. So I don't know. I'm tempted to get Assad Bourbon and, review it and come and share my thoughts with you. But I don't know, guys. So let me just share the notes with you so you can understand where I'm coming from. So the notes are: at the top, mirabelle, pink pepper, and lavender. In the mid, we have cacao, nutmeg, and davana. And at the base, we have bourbon, vanilla, amber, and vetiver. So here's the thing, guys. Whenever you open, at least in my opinion, whenever you open a fragrance with pink pepper and a purple floral such as lavender, that's immediately giving me leaning towards the masculine side. And then what really, really brings it home for me is the fact that in the mid notes you have nutmeg. So that's going to make the fragrance even spicier, most likely in that part of the olfactory journey, kind of warm, spicy. And then it has davana, which is not one of my favorite notes. It's not a total dislike, but it's not a note that, it depends on what they, pair it with. And I'm seeing here cacao. So I'm predicting a bit of bitterness. I don't know, guys. There's just something about the notes of this fragrance that is really not exciting me, but I could be totally wrong. And in my research, I could not find anywhere where it says that this fragrance was inspired by anything. The other thing that really surprised me is that it's called Assad Bourbon, but there seems to be no liquor, no bourbon, nothing in the notes. But then you know how that goes. There could be something in there, and the fragrance could very well be boozy. But we just don't know it yet. The other thing that I find very interesting is that in doing my research on Assad Bourbon, there are several sites that categorized it as a unisex fragrance. But then there's a whole bunch of other sites, such as Lattafa itself, that have it as a fragrance for the gents only. So I don't know, guys. I'm on the fence about this one. I'm going to think a little bit more about it. And yeah, so I can't commit to saying that I'm going to review that on the channel as of yet, but I'll make up my mind pretty soon and let you know. So the next fragrance that I'm going to cover with you is a fragrance also Middle Eastern, and it's from one of my favorite Middle Eastern fragrance houses, which is Khadlaj. And This one is called Cream Velvet. Now, you guys know that Khadlaj has launched, well, in part, because there's still more fragrances to come, is my understanding. Khadlaj has a whole collection of gourmand fragrances coming in 2025. And I already picked up one, which will be coming to Middle Eastern Thursday this coming week, which is called Cafe Latte, if I recall correctly. But this one is called Cream Velvet. Now, Cream Velvet, is my understanding, is supposed to be like the one design, or leaning heavy towards the feminine side. And then there's another one in the collection, which comes in a blue bottle, which is supposed to be designed more to lean towards the masculine side. But I'm planning to pick up both. As a matter of fact, I have Cream Velvet on its way to me also. But let me go ahead and share the notes with you, because I could not find this fragrance on Fragrantica, and you're not finding information about it as of yet, just about everywhere. So let me give you the notes. So at the top, you have butter and caramel. Butter and caramel, guys. And then in the mid, you have honey, jasmine, and tonka. Oof. And then at the base, you have amber, vanilla, and musk. So you are able to pick it up already, and I will go ahead and link it, of course, along with everything else in the description box, but you are able to pick it up now. And I have to tell you, I'm very excited about that one, because those notes really do not remind me of anything like those specific notes. Of course, some of those notes can be found in other gourmands, but that note combination, especially with the butter at the top with the caramel, oh my goodness, that's going to be a deliciously exquisite opening. The other thing that I do find interesting is there's no sugar, but then there's honey. So it makes me think of a couple of fragrances, and it makes me very curious as to how Khadlaj is going to do that honey. I don't know, guys. Just expect to see the fragrance here on the channel. So this next fragrance that I'm going to share with you is a Western niche fragrance. And this is a fragrance, guys, that has already gone viral, and it has been so hyped everywhere. And it's from Reinvented, and it's called Ethereal Soul. But here's the thing, guys. This is for my iris and violet lovers. But then, are you ready? Add to that the note of cherry. Oh my goodness. Now that to me is totally new. So I'm really looking forward to trying this fragrance. But let me tell you a bit more about it. So this fragrance has been described by Reinvented itself as a timeless celestial potion. Now, if anything is going to strike your curiosity, I would say it would be that description. Timeless celestial potion. So there's also another fragrance that they just launched called Ode to Sight. And I have been looking at the notes of that one, but I'm not sure that I'm going to pick it up. But I will tell you that Ethereal Soul is definitely one that you can expect to see. It's on its way to me, and I am so excited because I have one other fragrance, and I can't remember the name, from Reinvented, and I absolutely love it. The one that comes in the blue bottle, I'll put the name right here. But I can tell you that that fragrance is exquisite, and it really did give me a good introduction, or a very pleasant initial experience with the fragrance house Reinvented. So I've been waiting to find the next perfect note structure that really pulls me in. And I have to tell you, Ethereal Soul definitely does that. It also, of course, does help that many people are talking about it. So definitely look forward to it. But let me go ahead and share the notes with you. All right, so the notes at the top are bergamot, lemon, and cherry. At the mid, you have black currant, guys, raspberry, and then you have iris, freesia, and jasmine. Oh, so you have probably like a fresh citrusy opening with that twist of the cherry. And I just don't know how they're going to do the cherry. It really depends on if they're going to do a sour cherry. I don't know, because I really haven't seen a full review of this fragrance, but that bergamot and lemon calls for a citrusy kind of fresh opening with a twist of the cherry in it. And then in the mid notes, of course, you have blackcurrant, raspberry, iris, freesia, and jasmine. So now it's pulling in more of that fruity quality to the fragrance, especially with that raspberry, and the blackcurrant can be a bit tight. And then you have the florals. You have some purple florals, and you also have some white florals. Of course, you have the iris, you have freesia, and you have jasmine. And the question will be, within the white florals, who's going to take the lead? Because that can play an interesting role when it comes to iris. Then at the base, we have amber, moss, and musk. So this is a musk-based fragrance, but at the same time with some amber qualities. Anyway, guys, this sounds just perfect to me. So I am really, really looking forward to trying and testing this fragrance and bringing you my detailed thoughts. So expect to see it on the channel. All right, guys, so the next fragrance that I have for you is a brand new 2024 launch. Just recently, it just launched. This fragrance is called Cocktail Appalache, if I remember correctly, and it is by L'Orchestre Parfum. Now, this is a fragrance house, guys, that is primarily known, at least for me, for another fragrance called Piano Santal, which is absolutely beautiful, a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. And in addition to that, in my collection, I also have Bouquet Encore, which is a fragrance, guys. Oh my goodness, it is so, so beautiful. And it is such a high compliment getter. It is a very feminine fragrance to me, and it just makes you smell beautiful and alluring and sensual. It's not necessarily a fragrance that you want to pull when you want to feel or dress in a sexy way. Now, let me share with you the notes of Cocktail Appalache. So we have sesame, vanilla, liquor, amaretto, pink pepper, benzoin, woody notes, tobacco, and saffron. Now, this is a fragrance that I have heard from a couple of other content creators is supposed to be very boozy. I think someone has already picked up a bottle. I can't remember, but they have reported that the fragrance is very boozy. So just keep that in mind if you're interested, or if you're planning to pick it, to do a blind buy pickup. I can tell you that I will be reviewing this fragrance here on the channel. It's also on its way to me. And it is definitely a fragrance that is really striking my curiosity, because it has that spicy quality from the pink pepper and the saffron, but then it's boozy and with two types of liquor. And then you have some vanilla. So it is definitely a fragrance that I'm very excited to get my nose on. So expect to see it very soon here on the channel. So the next fragrance that I have for you guys is yet another Creed fragrance. And this one is for my iris and violet lovers. But this is not really a new fragrance. As I told you in the opening, Creed is just like relaunching and relaunching, like changing the bottle of so many of their fragrances. And this one that I want to talk to you about now is called Love in Black. So Love in Black, I think, was launched in maybe 2008, if I recall correctly. But anyway, top notes of Love in Black are Italian violet, Virginia cedar, and wildflowers. And then in the mid, it has iris, musk, and some cloves. And at the base, it has black currant and Bulgarian rose. So this is one Creed fragrance, guys, that I've never even gotten my nose on. But I have to tell you, based on those notes, I think I'm going to end up picking the bottle. But I'm going to try and find at some sort of, discount, some sort of a discount. I'm going to try and find the original bottle so that it costs me a bit less, because this new one is already, or it's about to be available, and I know it's going to cost over $400. So if I can get it for, less than that, why not, right? I don't know, guys. I'm on the fence on whether I am going to pick it up or not. It depends on other releases and other launches that, I'm trying to prioritize, like, which one is more of my interest and which one should I bring to you. I don't know. I may just get myself a sample of that one, before picking it up. But anyway, guys, so that is Love in Black from Creed. All right, guys. So the next update that I have for you is one that I am so excited about. So here we are again, right? So there's a fragrance house that has been very busy this year, guys, and that would be Mind Games. So guys, during 2024, Mind Games launched was it 2024 or was it the end of 2023? I don't know, guys, but they launched an entire collection with like 7 fragrances, and the collection was Soulmate. The first collection they ever launched was the Artisan collection, and I think that one also had like 7 fragrances if I recall correctly. But during the year, they launched Mentor and Prodigy, which I already reviewed for you here on the channel because you guys know that I'm obsessed with Mind Games. But now they just launched 2 more fragrances, guys. So the first one is called Opera Mate. And these 2 fragrances, by the way, are additions to the Artisan collection. So it's not like a new collection. No, it's 2 additional fragrances for the Artisan collection. The Artisan collection was their first collection, and it had fragrances such as Checkmate, Blockade, etc. I was not a fan of Checkmate nor Blockade at all. But now the Soulmate collection, oh my goodness, I have, I think, 4 fragrances from that collection. Absolutely love it. But anyway, so the first fragrance is Opera Mate, which is supposed to be, in their words, the perfect fragrance for a special night out. So opera, right? Mate, pairing with your opera outfit, I guess. Anyway, so let me tell you, by the way, with these 2 fragrances, some sources say that these are limited edition fragrances. I don't know if that's true or not. I couldn't find that information on the Mind Games website itself. But what I can tell you is that these fragrances right now are only available in their website. So again, let's go back to Opera Mate. So the top notes of Opera Mate are roasted chestnut, grapefruit zest, and labdanum. And then in the mid, it has creme brulee, Savannah, and vetiver. And at the base, it has suede, caramel, and santal. Now, I looked at the notes of this fragrance, and you guys know these fragrances are very pricey. And because they're only available right now on their website, it's not very easy to get yourself a sample or a decant. So I don't know, guys, because when I look at these notes, I don't know, roasted chestnut and grapefruit zest, I don't know. And then in the mid, it has Davana, which I already told you how I feel about that. And then it has vetiver, which on my skin tends to pull or lean more towards the masculine side. Then you have that creme brulee. So that brings a little bit of curiosity because creme brulee and Davana and vetiver, I'm pretty sure I've never seen that before. But then at the base, guys, it has suede, caramel, and santal. I don't know. I just have a very strong feeling that this is a fragrance that is going to lean heavy to the masculine side. So I don't think I'm going to pick that one up. I'm going to wait until it's available at other retailers, or I'll see if I can get myself a sample from the Mind Games website, because I am not going to blind buy that one. I just have a strong feeling that it's not going to be a love for me. And at this price point, it has to be a love or I can't justify it. But anyway, so the second fragrance that they do have is designed to disrupt the mundane and seize the momentum. Now, that is a beautiful description of a fragrance. I mean, disrupt the mundane and seize the momentum. Love it. So this one has at the top melon, guava, and banana. Guys, you know me and my guava. So you guys know that this is a fragrance that you are going to see here on the channel. As a matter of fact, it's already on its way to me, so expect to see a review very soon. But anyway, at the top we have melon, guava, and banana. Ooh, and banana, guys. Oh my goodness. I think banana is making its way into being a very popular note for fragrances, because I'm seeing a lot of fragrances recently with that banana note, when before I only had literally 2 fragrances in my entire collection that had the note of banana. But anyway, so melon, guava, banana. Then in the mid, we have osmanthus, ylang ylang, and orange blossom, which you guys know I love orange blossom. And then at the base, we have sandalwood, patchouli, and pink pepper. Very interesting base, because the pink pepper I would have thought would have been more towards mid olfactory journey, but hey, Mind Games, one of the things that I love about them is I do not think that their fragrances are very like common scent profiles. There is a level of complexity to their fragrances, not to the extent of like an Amouage, but for me, Mind Games, gives me a very interesting olfactory journey. So again, Counterplay is one that I've already picked up, so expect to see a review here on the channel, and I may get myself a sample of Opera Mate just out of curiosity. I just have a feeling I'm not going to like it, but that could just be me assuming. Anyway, moving on. All right, guys, so this next fragrance that I have for you is from Memo Paris. And I feel like Memo did launch a couple of fragrances in 2023, but they didn't get much attention. I think it's called Cappadocio, which I absolutely love. But they didn't get much attention, and I don't know why. Memo is another one of those fragrance houses, similar to Amouage, in my opinion, in the level of complexity of their fragrances. When it comes to Memo Paris, I absolutely love their entire leather scent profile fragrances. I absolutely love them. I have French leather, Luxor Oud, which has a bit of leather, African leather, which is my favorite. Just an incredible, they have Irish leather, just incredible range of leather fragrances. But now they have launched another fragrance by the name of Abu Dhabi. Now, here's the thing about this fragrance. It's an exclusive to, I believe, Harrods in the UK, and it is supposed to launch in the US at the beginning of 2025. And it is my understanding that it will be a Neiman Marcus exclusive. So you will only be able to pick up that fragrance, either, from a retailer in the UK or here in the US only at Neiman Marcus or in the Memo Paris website. So very interesting, guys. But let me share with you the notes, because I couldn't even find the notes on Fragrantica or any other source except their website. So at the top, we have bergamot oil, orange oil Brazil, pink peppercorn, cardamom, ginger, olibanum, and safraline, which I don't know what safraline is. Then at the heart, we have a date accord, plum accord, Davana, carrot seed, orange flower absolute from North Africa, and mahonial. And then at the base, we have vetiver. We have vetiver oil from Haiti, vetiver oil from Indonesia, patchouli, cistus absolute from Spain. We have fir balsam, vanillin, ambrofix, and another one that I can't even pronounce, ambrexolide. Anyway, guys, that sounds to me, with all those vetiver, did you hear the vetiver from different regions, Indonesia, Haiti, etc.? This may be a fragrance that leans to the masculine side. So this is one that I am absolutely not blind buying. I'm going to try and get myself a sample and try it. And if I do, of course, I'm going to test it and I will bring you my thoughts. But this sounds very lovely, and I do enjoy a good Memo Paris fragrance. To me, most of their fragrances are unisex, like truly unisex, but quite a number of them also lean to the masculine side. And I have the very strong feeling that this is one that is going to lean to the masculine side. So more to come on that, but I am not picking up a bottle without testing. All right, guys, so the last update that I have for you is from the king of quiet luxury himself. And of course, I'm speaking about Brunello Cucinelli. So you guys may recall at the end of 2023 or the beginning of 2024, I can't remember. I think it was the end of 2023. I shared with you the first fragrance that Brunello Cucinelli launched, which was, there were actually two fragrances. They were Brunello Cucinelli Parfum and Brunello Cucinelli Pour Homme. And at the time, guys, I couldn't stop talking about them ever. So I continuously brought them to the channel because Brunello Cucinelli Parfum, did become an obsession for me. And I know several of you did pick it up, and most of you enjoyed it. I really haven't heard any negative reviews about, the fragrance. Not everybody loves it, but it's also a fragrance that is very likable. It's not designed to be mass appealing in my opinion, but it is definitely a lovely fragrance that I absolutely love. Now, Brunell Cinelli just launched a collection of fragrances, guys. He launched 6 additional fragrances. So after maybe 2 years of not producing anything or not launching, a new fragrance, he just came out with 6 fragrances. I have not had a chance to try and find decants or samples or go to a store that has them all available to sniff, but I am planning to do that. But I am not going to blind buy them because remember, I told you that in 2025, and we're still in 2024, so I can still kind of blind buy. But I did tell you that in 2025, one of my goals is to not blind buy at all. So I think I'm going to try and get myself a sample of each of the fragrances. And if I do, of course, I will come and give you my thoughts. So the name of the collection is Poetic Enchantments. And the collection, in their words, is inspired by the emotional power of poetry. So this is a very lovely, I'm sure these fragrances are very lovely because there's an aesthetic and just a feel to anything, in my opinion, Brunell Cinelli. Whether it's a sweater, whether it's a pair of shoes, whether it's a fragrance, Brunell Cinelli is just incredible to me. So I am sure that these fragrances are going to be very lovely, but they're each retailing, because they're already available on the Brunell Cinelli site, they're retailing for $345 each. So I will definitely be testing them before deciding if I want to commit to a bottle or not. All right, guys, so we've reached the end of today's video, and I just wanted to come on here and have our Chatty Scent Corner session of Saturday mornings and just bring to you the latest, right? Well, there are many other fragrances that are available or that are about to launch, and I will be sharing them with you every week because I keep getting different pieces of information from different sources and different friends. But there's definitely a lot coming in 2025, guys, a lot. So we're going to have to be very careful, and we're going to really have to think things through before we pick up fragrances because you are not going to be able to keep up. There's just so much coming, not just in Middle Eastern, but then in Western niche and designer, there is so much coming out. And there's actually a couple of fragrances that I didn't share with you today because I'm not really interested in them as of right now. For example, there's a Giorgio Armani My Way, and it's called, I think it's the ylang with a focus on the note of ylang. And I really have not decided if I'm going to pick up that fragrance or not. I may or may not. I don't know. Most likely not. But anyway, guys, let us know if you have any fragrances on your radar. Have you heard of any fragrance that is already piquing your interest? And how do you feel about all these new launches? And what are your thoughts on some of the fragrances that I shared today? Do you think that you'll be interested in them or not? Anyway, guys, as always, thank you so much for hanging with me today, and I will see you all in the next video.